my dear brothers, welcome to this channel. So we're gonna make an interview with a brother of mine, a friend of mine actually, and so he's gonna talk about. He's an American Freemason, so he's gonna talk about American Freemasonry. You know how it works, his path, his journey in American Freemasonry. And he's going to introduce us to what he saw, you know, how he lived this journey of his, and he's going also to introduce some of the projects that he made that are pretty famous in the Freemasonry where he lives. So he lives in Las Vegas, in Nevada, and so he became very popular because of this traditional symbols that he tries to bring into Freemasonry, symbols that might have been in some of the lodges lost or forgotten. He's going to talk about everything, and yeah, welcome, Brother Antony. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome, Brother Freemason. Yeah, so thanks for inviting me here. We appreciate that. So for a quick presentation.
Yeah.
I was first shown Masonry when I was back in France, and I really loved the idea of what it could bring. The journey, the discovery, the self-improvement.
Okay.
And so when I moved to Las Vegas, I wanted to find that again, and especially also the brotherhood aspect.
Okay.
You know, to have a network of brothers, a network of people from all walks of life that you can just discover, share things with, you know, and you're not just stuck in your own bubble.
Right.
So when I joined here in Las Vegas, and I really...
How old were you when you joined Freemasonry?
When I joined Freemasonry, I was, let me think quickly, 27.
27, so it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 years ago.
So you've been a Mason for 10 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
So you joined Freemasonry in Nevada, in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Pretty much? Okay.
Right away, I joined.
How did it work? Like, did you, I don't know, ring the bell or to a temple door? How did it work?
So originally, I sent an email to the lodge.
Okay.
And I was waiting for an answer, and I didn't get any.
How do you find the lodge?
So I went online. I looked up online, and the first lodge that I found, I just clicked on that.
You Google like Masonic temple.
Join Freemasonry,
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
went
then
on a website.
Yeah. Okay. We're on a website, and then it just, you know, I clicked the join, submitted a form.
Yeah.
Waited for an answer. I didn't get anything straight up, so I called them, and I didn't get any answer from the call. So I told myself, okay, they're probably testing me right now.
Oh, yeah, that's a test.
They want to see
if you're serious about it, or you're just like a tourist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I decided to just go.
Okay.
So I found, you know, I looked it up. I saw where they were meeting, so I went there. I drove there.
Physically?
Yeah, physically drove there. And when I arrived, I met the brothers there. They're all amazing.
Yeah.
They're very welcoming.
Yeah.
And they gave me a petition right away.
Okay.
They even signed for me right away.
Okay.
And so that's how I started my journey.
Okay.
I became an entered apprentice, then a fellow craft, master mason.
Okay. Did you get like some? We have that in France. It's called enquête, so investigation.
Yeah.
Maybe, or
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So they did
before entering.
Yeah. They did an investigation and they sent 3 different brothers to my house.
Okay. Well, we have the same thing in France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They asked me questions.
Okay.
I remember my girlfriend at the time. She was scared.
Yeah.
She goes, "They're gonna put microphones in the house."
Oh, yeah, Freemasons. You know, they're gonna watch over you.
So that was funny, but no, everything went really well. The guys were amazing, really nice.
Yeah.
I did the interview, and then I got initiated.
True. 10 years ago.
Yes. I did my 3 degrees, became master of my lodge, and then I continued in the upper degrees. I joined the Scottish Rite.
Okay. So how long did it take you to? So how many degrees did you get? Like in the Blue Lodge, you have the free first degree. So how long did it take you to reach, for example, degree number 2, for example?
It was pretty fast. I would say a month and a half.
Month and a half to become a fellow craft.
Craft, yeah.
What you said. We say compagnon in French.
Yeah.
And then to become a master.
And same thing, a month and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 months in the Blue Lodge, you became you went from an entry apprentice, you became a master, a master mason, and then what? You talk about the Scottish Rite.
Exactly. I was looking for a little more symbolism, and I wanted a little more depth in my own journey.
Okay.
And so I was told to join the Scottish Rite.
Okay.
I was, I was told before that it would take years to do the Scottish Rite.
True, because and maybe you heard about the practice that we have, for example, I don't know, in Europe or even in England, for example.
Yeah, South America too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Central America as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, South America. Like it takes several years actually. If you want to go to the Scottish Rite and you want to become like a 33rd degree, like it takes.
Yeah.
In France, it might take 30 years actually.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, 25, 30 years. Yeah,
approximately. So what was your experience?
So I was surprised because it was all done in 2 days.
Okay.
In my valley. So from the 4th to the 32nd degree. Okay,
so those degrees you have those degrees in 2 days. 2 days of. Was it like it's a class?
Yeah, so it was separated. Parts of it was a class where they just communicate the degrees to you.
Okay.
You learn the legend, you understand a little bit of what it's about, and then some degrees are an actual representation. So it's a theatrical representation. It's beautiful.
It's like a play.
Yeah, a play, and the brothers they do it beautifully. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
They have costumes. They have I don't know, maybe it's like a play.
Exactly.
Much. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Like how was it?
Yeah, it was nice. It was a lot of information to grasp in 2 days.
True.
A lot.
Because you went from the 4th degree to 32nd degree. Yeah, it's a lot.
Exactly. To take. But it was beautiful to see.
Okay.
It was a beautiful experience to see. And then after that, I joined the Lodge of Research too.
Okay.
Again, still looking for a little more depth.
Okay.
Things.
So what is a Lodge of Research for the brothers or even people non-Mason who don't know about this term? What is it
so
exactly?
a Lodge of Research is a lodge that's dedicated to research Masonic history or Masonic symbolism, things like that. And they can also go into the profane. They can research philosophy, things like that.
Okay.
They try to connect it to Masonry, but
Interesting. Okay, so you joined those Lodge of Research.
Yes, still in search of more. I wanted more.
Yeah, you want. And when you say more, because that's interesting, what are you talking about exactly? Like, is it about the initiatic path you wanted to undertake? Is it about more community, more fraternity? What is it exactly?
No, the fraternity, the community was amazing.
Okay.
That's something that's a strong strength of American Freemasonry. They have a beautiful fraternity.
True.
It was more on the initiatic path. I wanted a little more depth in what I was going through.
In the study of the symbols?
Yes, study of symbols, the journey itself. I wanted to be able to discuss things, debate things.
Okay.
I felt like it was, I didn't want to have to research it myself on my own. I wanted to be able to share that.
In Lodge?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then that's when I was told about the Observant movement.
Okay. What is it? So what is the Observant movement?
So it's a movement that really started in the early 2000s in the United States.
Okay. So it's an American movement.
Yeah, purely American. It started in the early 2000s, and originally it was called Traditional Observance, or even TO Lodge.
Okay.
Because really the goal of it is to return to American traditions.
Okay.
But
American Masonic tradition.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the word tradition is a little complicated to define because,
True.
What are you talking about? Your lodge tradition, your state tradition, your city traditions, your own traditions. So it gets complicated.
And was it like from 100 years ago, 200 years ago? Yeah. What are you talking about?
So they dropped the word traditional observance and they just kept the observant movement.
Okay.
Because that's what we do in the end. We observe Masonry.
True.
We work really on it.
Okay.
And so that prompted me to do research on early American Freemasonry, how it was practiced back in the days. How would George Washington, what did he do in Lodge? Things like that.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin, what was he doing in Lodge?
You wanted to go back to this this golden age of symbolic American Masonry, right?
what prompted these people to join Masonry back then? Founders of our country. Founders are, they brought the ideas of freedom.
True.
And
because pretty much, I mean, for those who might not know that, I mean, the American Republic at the very beginning was a Masonic republic.
Yeah.
Like all the first presidents were actually Masons.
Yeah.
You had like famous people like George Washington, Benjamin Franklin. I think George Washington actually set up the first stone in the Washington Capitol in a Masonic apron.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when he took his oath to become president, the first president of the Republic, they handed him a Bible and he said, "No, I want the Bible from my temple. I want my Masonic Bible." And they brought it to him so he could take his oath.
So the United States were really created based on Masonic values, and it's really grounded in the very creation of the country.
Strong Masonic principles. And so that prompted me to research really how Masonry was done back then and what the Observant movement was all about. And I realized, and it's fascinated me, that Masonry was very different in the early days of America.
Okay.
It used to be discussed in lodge. There used to be philosophical debates. Sometimes they would present papers in lodge that they would write for the lodge.
Okay.
They would be debated on symbols or morality and they would really even work in lodge. And I've seen minutes where they talk about people studying globes and studying geography in lodge.
Wow, science.
Yeah, science being done in the lodge.
Science.
And it was interesting because it wasn't my experience in the Blue Lodge. I didn't have any of that. The Blue Lodge meetings were more of a business meeting.
I see what you mean.
It wasn't really about studying anything.
Okay.
And I really wanted to find that. I realized that this is what I was looking for this whole time.
I see. And it's funny because you're talking about drafting papers and study symbols and everything. And this is I know a bit of American Masonry because I participated to lodges with you and in Nevada, in Las Vegas, which was amazing. Like I had a wonderful time. I mean, it's amazing. Temples are beautiful. The practice is a bit different, so it's very interesting to see the differences. So you can understand more your own Masonry. But I really know French Masonry, and in France, in the lodges, what we do is that we really prepare papers on symbols. For example, you're going to write a paper on the square, on its compasses, on the symbol, on the pavement, and letter G, and so on. And then, so you have a brother who prepare a paper, and then you not debating, but each and every brother add their own perspective to it.
Exactly.
And then you have this enrichment of a collective understanding of the symbol itself, and you're involved into that. And at the end of the night, well, it's as if you built a bit of yourself, based on the work that was performed in lodge. So this is really the practice that we have in France that we might have pretty much in Europe, maybe not in England, but in some of the other countries in Europe. And I think it was actually this practice that was at the very beginning of American Freemasonry, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see this with Benjamin Franklin. He was part of lodges here in America and in Paris.
True.
And
the nine sisters.
Exactly. Yeah. Very prestigious lodge.
Exactly.
And yes, for him, it wasn't day and night. It was the same masonry that he was practicing.
True.
And so, realizing this, I understood what the Observant movement was trying to do now. I understood that it was trying to return to those early practices and fill what I was missing. And what I feel a lot of people in the population are missing. And so that prompted me to really keep researching on what happened. Why did American Masonry change like that?
True. Yeah.
Because we've been losing members since 1959.
So how much of a loss did we incur?
We went from 4 million members
in
1959.
In 1959, 4 million.
Yeah, to under 800,000 today.
Today.
Yeah.
So we
in the
lost
United States.
So you guys lost about 80, close to 80% of your members.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you explain that?
And that's the thing. That was my major question, because when I was asking around, I didn't really get a satisfactory answer on why we're losing those members. And the method that they were trying to apply to fix that didn't work.
Okay. So did you have some of the examples?
Lowering the dues, making entry faster or easier.
Okay.
Advertisements, things like that. Campaign like the 2B1 Ask One campaign.
Okay.
Or the more recent, he's not just a man, he's a Mason.
Okay. Some of those campaigns to trying to encourage Freemasonry and participating into Freemasonry. So that didn't work.
Yeah.
Lowering the fees, shortening the time span between each and every degree.
Yeah.
So that didn't work.
Didn't work.
Okay.
And as I was researching, I realized that even in my state, in Nevada, lodge fees, for example, used to be a lot higher. You go back into the 1800s, and it was about a month's salary, a month of wages.
Okay.
Per year.
Based on inflation.
With inflation, yeah, of course,
inflation and everything.
There was even a minimum amount by Grand Lodge Code that was about a month of wages. And when you look at their ratio of blackballing, meaning refusing candidates, that's how they call it in Masonry, they had a really, really large ratio. They would have 27 applicants and maybe 3 would make it in.
Okay. So you're saying that it's not a money issue?
Exactly. It's not a money issue. And the bar, it looks like it was a little lowered on who comes in and how much we pay for it. And so I studied the entire history of what brought us here. Okay. And the thing that happened is in the late 1700s,
yes,
we have George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, all of these famous Masons.
Yes.
Practicing Masonry. Masonry is growing.
Okay.
And it's doing pretty well. It's not exploding. It's growing naturally, slowly.
And steady pace.
Steady pace.
Okay.
And you have really the elite of the country that are part of this.
True.
And then in the early 1800s, you have a new phenomenon that's called the Second Coming.
Okay.
Basically, it was a belief that Jesus Christ was coming very soon.
Okay.
We needed to straighten society. And they saw the 1700s as years of debauchery. And so this is where the whole movement for banning alcohol, all that stuff came from that time.
Okay, prohibition.
Prohibition, yeah. So in that time, society was primed to find something against Masonry. Why? Because Masonry had esotericism in it. They were exploring free thoughts.
So it looked suspicious.
Exactly.
They had secrets. Yeah. They met in a closed space.
In a closed place. And also they talked about, and that's a big part too, they really insisted back then on being having a free thought, being a free thinker. And some people saw this as, well, are you not Christian? Like, what do you mean free thought? What are you thinking about? What do you need to think of?
What are the other things that you might think that might not be very Christian, actually? Yeah.
And so there is a thing, for example, it's called the chamber of reflection.
Okay.
And in the early, late 1700s, early 1800s in the United States, it really depended on the lodge. Some lodges had one. Sometimes it was just a black room, nothing else, and you would be left there to reflect. Sometimes it was a room with symbols in it. Sometimes they didn't have it.
So what is it exactly, chamber of reflection? Without
revealing anything, because you wouldn't want to spoil it.
You don't want to spoil it, but just to understand, what is it? Is it like when do you do it? Like, what is it?
So it's right before initiation.
Okay. Right before it.
Yes.
The night.
The night that a candidate becomes a Mason.
Okay.
Before he's initiated, he's placed in a specific room to reflect, to think.
Okay.
Most of the time, it's for an hour. He's placed there. He gets to mentally prepare for the night.
I see.
That's basically it.
Okay.
And so that's a good example because it was practiced sparsely, like I said, but it was practiced in the United States. And in 1826, we have something called the Morgan Affair.
Yes. Yes.
Massive event in the United States.
Massive.
William Morgan, he's a Mason. He's also known as a drunk of the town.
True.
He's also acting odd in lodge. Some people believe that he read the words but he doesn't really.
Okay.
He's isn't really a Mason. They don't really know. And at one point, his Royal Arch Lodge decides to not have him as a member.
I see. Okay.
So they ban him from the lodge, and that sparks him to say, you know what? I'm just going to write a book. I'm going to reveal all of your secrets.
Okay. So they didn't really like the idea, right?
Exactly. So that sparked a massive outrage in the Masonic community first. Mm-hmm. And so they send lawyers, Masonic lawyers start sending letters to cease and desist and all that stuff. Doesn't work. He knows that the ritual is not patented. There's no way to protect that.
Yeah,
there's no copyright.
There's no copyright on Masonic rituals. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's secret.
Exactly.
And so so they do that first, doesn't work. Then the printing press burns down. They never found who did it, but there's a strong suspicion that, you know.
Chances are.
And William Morgan gets arrested by the police because he stole $3, or no, a tie first. He stole a tie.
Okay. It was
frivolous charges. They take him away, arrest him for a night, and then they completely ransack his house. Okay. They were looking for the master of the book. Couldn't find it. A couple of nights later, he gets arrested again because he stole $3. Again, another frivolous charge. He's put in jail, but this time they forget to watch the jail, and so a mob comes in, takes him out.
Wow.
And they take him from carriages to carriages. He's seen in different villages, all the way to Niagara Falls.
Okay.
And that's the last we hear of him.
So that's it. So we didn't find any, I don't know, body or anything.
Nothing was ever found. They found a body later, but it was proven that it wasn't him.
Okay.
But obviously there's a massive, massive suspicion that the Mason killed him. The Masons, in their defense, said that they gave him money and told him to never talk to anyone again, just go back to Canada. Because he came from Canada originally.
Yeah, which might be actually we don't know, but...
it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. We don't really know.
We don't really know.
It does look like he was maybe, killed by the Mason. I really don't know. But
so what was the impact
exactly.
of the story?
So that sparked a massive, massive societal outrage against Masonry. Also, the thing that didn't help is that the people that were part of taking him away, part of the mob, they're trialed, and they got really low sentences, sometime a couple of days, sometime even just acquitted. That further fueled anti-Masonic sentiment. They felt like it was a Kabbalah controlling the United States, that they were above.
I see.
And that sparked a political party, the anti-Masonic party.
Yeah, okay. There was a party that was created just for that.
And it actually was the first most successful third party ever created in the United States.
So you got the Republican, Democrats, and this anti-Masonic party.
Exactly.
Wow.
So the anti-Masonic sentiment was so strong that there are instances of, for example, a kid getting kicked out of school because they learned that his father is a Mason.
Oh, okay.
And in New York State, they lost 70% of Masons.
Why in New York? Because Morgan was in New York?
Yeah, so that really impacted that state. They lost most of their Masons there. Other states like Maine, they lost every single lodge. Wow. They had no more members.
Wow.
They just closed the Grand Lodge.
Which is understandable. I mean, because, if suddenly everyone in the state thinks that the Masons are, I don't know, bad people or some of the things, actual Mason don't want to get involved and don't want to, be seen as one of those things. So understandable.
Exactly. And so so after this happened, the ritual started to be, I would say, Christianized a little bit.
Okay. To make it more acceptable.
Exactly. Okay. More acceptable by the population. Also, there was a lot of infiltrations. Anti-Masons would join lodges just to write articles
and
or
reveal the secrets.
Try to reveal things. So that happened. Like I was telling you earlier, the Chamber of Reflection, that was also criticized back then. And so that was moved all the way up to the last degree of the York Rite, which is the Knights Templar.
But you do have the chamber of reflection,
Yes.
but need the last degree of your right.
Exactly. It's still within York Masonry, but it's all the way in the end now.
I see.
And so that happened, and it's slowly stabilized and started going back up in the late 1830, 1840, but very slowly.
Okay.
And in 1840, and at this point, you had lodges that were completely lost. Like they were like an island. You had a lodge where all the lodges around died, and they're the last one, and they don't have communications. You know, they didn't have the phone back then, so it was complicated to communicate between lodges, and so they started to just forget the ritual or add new things, and it was already the American ritual was already a patchwork of a lot of different influences, but it was even worse because it wasn't even an ancient style. It was them just making mistakes, changing things, forgetting things. So there was a big need for a uniformization,
standardization,
exactly, of American Freemasonry. That's when the Preston Webb ritual really took hold, which is again part of the York ritual. And by the way, as a side note, it has nothing to do with the city of York. It's an American ritual, really 100% American ritual.
Yeah, said York because it looks more ancient. Maybe?
Exactly. Yeah. They were trying to give a flair, like every single other rite did. Except the Scottish rite.
Yeah, in France we did the same thing. Exactly. The Scottish rite and all that.
Exactly. But yeah, so that happened in 1843. They had the Baltimore Convention.
Okay.
Where they tried to have most Grand Lodges meet up, standardize everything for good, add specific lectures that would be used in every degree.
Okay.
And also they added new rules. For example, they added another sign, which we call the Jew Guard.
Okay.
They added that to the normal signs as an extra layer of security to make sure that there was no,
to prevent strangers from entering the lodges.
Yes. And also, they added a new rule that lodges would meet on the third degree. That was a very radical move. And the goal was to, again, avoid any cowan and eavesdropper, as we say in Masonry, any people trying to spy, because they didn't want an apprentice was not going to stay all the way until Master Mason to write his little article.
True.
So to protect it, they decided that we would meet on the third degree.
Wait. So imagine like you're an apprentice, you're an EA, as you say. You're not allowed to get into lodges.
Exactly.
So you cannot attend meetings.
Nope. You have to become a Master Mason to be able to attend the lodge.
So apprentice, fellow craft, not allowed in lodge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's still in use today in a lot of states.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have to be a Master Mason.
A lot of states still have that rule in place. Not in Nevada, we went back to the ancient ways, but a lot of states still use that rule of the third degree.
Wow. And what was the impact of that?
The impact of that was that people were rushed to become Master Mason.
Makes sense. I mean, because you're not allowed to, so you're not gonna make the man wait for decades,
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's gonna lose interest if you can't even come to lodge.
He's gonna leave for sure.
So there was a big direct impact. Is the time between under apprentice to master was very, very, very much shortened, and then you have a new phenomenon that's starting to really grow in American society, and it's called lodge doctors.
Lodge doctors, okay. What is lodge doctors?
So it was a system, back in the day, being a doctor was a very difficult endeavor. It was a difficult job because you needed to find your customer base, you need to build trust, you need to be well known.
Yes.
You need to set your prices with different families. It was complicated.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time. And so lodges figured out that they could mutualize it. So they could, as a lodge, just hire a doctor.
For the lodge.
Exactly.
For all the members of the lodge.
And any member would get free healthcare. All you had to do is be a member of a lodge, and you would have a doctor.
And the lodge would pay for the doctor.
And the thing is, it was perfect for both. For the lodge, it was amazing because they could actually negotiate the rate of the doctor and get the best doctor in town.
True.
For the doctors, it was amazing because they would get a set wage.
And you only have one client.
One client, set wages, no need to go left and right and all that.
Yeah.
So it was perfect.
It was a perfect arrangement.
And the lodge doctor phenomenon wasn't really within Masonry to start with. It was other lodges started to grow on that aspect. Other fraternities started to grow really focused on that.
Okay.
But it also impacted Masonry.
Okay.
And you start to get what we call the golden age of fraternities at that point. And it's linked heavily to this phenomenon.
Because it makes Freemasonry, made Freemasonry all of a sudden so popular because you have this super advantage of having a doctor at your disposition.
And you get to a point in the late 1800s where 40% of American population was part of a fraternity.
Really? 40%? Part of the fraternity,
yeah.
Which might be Freemasonry, but you have other fraternities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, again, Freemasonry was seen as the fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, they're still very, very difficult to get into.
Okay.
They're very selective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said earlier, out of 20-something application, they would maybe get 1 or 2 or 3 in there.
Okay.
But people would get into a new town, and right away they would apply for Freemasonry. And if they got rejected, they would go to another group.
Oh, I see. So Freemasonry was the top choice.
Yes.
And then if you get rejected, you go to another fraternity.
Yeah.
But okay, got it.
And the second phenomenon that happened at the same time is the industrialization of America.
Okay.
And so, again, that also sparked people from the countryside to move into cities.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, when you move into a new city, you have zero connection, zero contact. And Freemasonry offered the perfect setting for that.
Oh.
If you get accepted, you get into, first of all, the elite of the town. You have 50 brothers right away. They'll vouch for you.
Keeps you network.
And another thing is there was no such thing as credit scores back then for banks.
Okay.
The way that it worked in the 1800s, you needed to be vouched for by someone else as a person that you could trust. Again, being a Mason, just the fact that you were a Mason was enough to vouch.
It gives you a vouch, yeah.
A massive vouch. But also you had brothers that could come down to the bank and say, no, I vouch for him.
I see.
So being a Mason was a massive advantage back then. So you have those things, and you have the Civil War that happened. And the Civil War also showed a different side of Masonry to the public.
How come?
We have hundreds of situations in the Civil War where brothers were saved because they did a sign, a secret sign that all Masons must answer to. And so we have stories of armies fighting, a brother that gets almost killed, and he does the sign, and the general from the other army stops everything for him.
And he saved his life like this.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And so that was a massive, massive push as well.
So everyone wanted to be a Mason just in case he's in dire strait, he saved his life just like this.
People remember that. It was, in society, it was known. And so you move forward to the 1900s, the early 1900s. And at this point, lodges are just having degrees after degrees after degrees after degrees. They're known as factory degrees.
Okay.
All they do is getting more guys through the line.
Okay.
We get lodges that are 1,200 members, 2,500 members,
Wow.
just massive mega lodges.
Just to make a comparison, in France, the average number of people in a lodge, number of members is like maybe 30, 35 maximum,
And it used to be the same way in the US. If you go back to the 1800s, it was about 35 members per lodge.
Which makes sense because the temple is, you don't have so much space in the temple.
Exactly. But it completely changed the face of Masonry. And you have debates in the early 1900s of the old guard that's saying, we're not doing Masonry anymore. All you're doing is degrees. You're not reflecting, you're not searching, all you do is degrees, and that's all you do. And you have the new generation that's more in the side of, well, these guys are honest guys, they're knocking at the doors, we can't refuse them.
I see. So just to make it clear, you have all of these reasons in the history that made it American Freemasonry so popular. So people will join Freemasonry for this medical assurance that you talk about, this sign of war, not sign of war, but the sign you can do if you're a soldier in a war just to save your life. You also have like this, in the industrial movement, this industrial time, people, would go in the city and it will give you a network and everything. So, I'm under the impression that, you have all those things that make, new Mason join Freemasonry, not necessarily from the symbolic aspect of it, but more of for the social aspect.
Precisely.
Is it something that?
Yes, and it's actually documented.
Okay.
There was in the early 1900s, you have a new magazine that's called the Builder magazine.
Okay.
And what they would do is they would do two things. Either people would write to them, but it will also get actual pieces of architecture. So a piece of architecture is a paper that's written in lodge. It's supposed to be presented in lodge by a brother.
Same thing that we have in France, pretty much.
Yes, and it was what was used in American Masonry.
Yeah.
And so they would send the best piece of architecture to that magazine so it could be published to the brothers and they could read it. And it's fascinating to read The Builder because it was a magazine that was set up to fight back against that new phenomenon.
This
factory
socialization of American Freemasonry. Got you.
And it gets fascinating because you can read articles. I remember reading one about this brother that talks about being from the old guard. And it talks about that he cannot recognize his lodge anymore. He says that when he goes to the agape after lodge, when he goes to the meal, he doesn't feel the fraternity that he had in the 1800s.
Really?
He says that remember in the 1800s being by the fire with the brothers, drinking coffee and just bonding.
Bonding together.
And now it feels more like a business meeting. It's not that fraternity that he knew once.
Interesting.
And again, The Builder is a treasure trove. You have hundreds of papers talking about how we need to take action now.
Okay.
We need to bring Masonry back to what it was.
So when was it, The Builder?
Early 1900s, all the way to 1930.
Okay.
Until they ran out of papers to publish and then also financial issues and then they just disbanded.
Okay.
But it was a big movement to fight against that phenomenon that failed. So in the early 1900s, you have this phenomenon and Masonry is again booming at that time. And then the First World War happens. And people remember what happened in the Civil War. So in the First World War, everybody's joining Masonry before they have to leave because they want those signs.
Soldiers, basically. Well, civil people that joined the army for the war, right? Yeah, got you.
And actually, that's when they first started bringing the York Rite to France.
Okay.
So they did that, and Masonry really grew again. But then something interesting happened. In that time, the Lodge Doctor phenomenon was being fought by the Medical Association in the United States. They didn't want that because they felt like it was weighing down on their wages as doctors.
I see. Yeah, okay.
So they're fighting this, and they've been fighting it since the early 1900s. But it really culminated in their late 1920s, early 30s, when they were able to fully ban the practice of lodge doctors.
Okay.
If you're a lodge doctor, you could not be part of the association. If you're not part of the association, you couldn't be a doctor.
So all of a sudden, the doctors just...
So that disappeared.
Yeah.
And then we had Social Security come up in the United States that also replaced that as well.
True.
At this point, you see a drastic drop in membership. And that's in the 1930s. Drastic drop and the 1929 crash didn't help.
Okay.
But it's interesting because Grand Lodges, for the first time, they're losing members. Last time that we lost members was after the Morgan affair. We knew exactly what happened.
Yes.
This time, it wasn't clear what happened.
Yeah. At the time, they couldn't actually figure out what was the element that led to this decrease.
And so it was just dropping and dropping. And some Grand Lodges even issued edicts that you did not have the right to leave Masonry. It was illegal.
Really?
It's just
it was illegal
ridiculous
to leave Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're evicted from Freemasonry.
Otherwise, you're expelled. So it was ridiculous. But they were panicking.
Yeah.
But that happened. And then the Second World War started.
Okay.
Same phenomenon.
Yeah.
People joined again. Grand Lodges. Yes. So Grand Lodges got relieved. People joined. And then after the Second World War, we have a phenomenon of soldiers returning and wanting to find the same fraternity that they had.
True.
You know. So they join again, and Masonry keeps climbing up in membership. But at this time, there was no real symbolism being studied. People didn't write papers in lodge anymore.
Okay.
They kind of had lost that tradition, that American tradition of really having intellectual debates, working in lodge.
The tradition of George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and all this, golden age of intellectual Freemasonry, basically.
Exactly. Which made the success of Masonry to start with. And that's when they started to make it more. And it's called the common men era. started to make it more of a thing that's affordable, that everybody can join, you know.
Which might not be the best recipe, you know, to make it more popular at the end of the day, right?
Exactly. It comes from a good sentiment, but the problem is that it lowered the bar, and that was criticized back in the day. People saw that.
Oh yeah, people saw that.
And we reached the peak in membership in 1959.
Okay.
4 million Masons.
Okay.
1962, we have a paper from a past grandmaster, and past secretary.
Do you know which state?
I think it's Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm not certain, but I think it's Tennessee.
All right.
But he writes a beautiful paper called "Whither Are We Traveling?" And that paper talks about, in 10 points, it explains what's wrong with Masonry in his eyes.
Okay.
Back then.
Okay.
And it's incredible because you know back then 1962 was right after the peak. 1959, we started losing membership, but it was a very small decline.
Yeah, it was like 3 years after the peak, right?
No one could see that was going to be a continuous thing. Everybody thought it would go back up.
So what did he say?
In the paper, it talks about the fact that he remembers the old guard. He remembers how Masonry used to be, and we lost it. And he explains in 10 points what needs to be brought back.
Okay.
He talks about raising the dues.
Okay.
He talks about attendance in lodge. Okay. We need to have a 90% attendance as it used to be. He talks about doing actual Masonic work. He says, you know, lodges, they try to attract their members by having a clown show, or having some guy singing, or having some guy doing a funny, humorous piece.
I see.
But he's saying, you know, if you want a singer, you go to the show, you're going to get better singing. You know, if you, anything else will get better at a professional event. The only thing you can get in a Masonic lodge better is Masonry. So he's
symbols.
Exactly. So he's advocating for a return to the full journey of the under apprentice, fellow craft, master mason, really studying the symbol, taking your time, writing papers, things like that.
Interesting.
And his paper, unfortunately, wasn't really heard back then.
Okay.
Didn't really make a difference.
I see.
And Masonry continued, and as I said, from 1959, it just declined and declined and declined.
So in 1959, we are about 4 million Freemasons in the United States, and now you guys are about
800,000.
800,000. Yeah. Okay.
And so it declined, and interestingly, you have little peaks. For example, when the book Born in Blood was written, it's a book about how Masonry comes from the Templar, which is a myth, but it's a beautiful book, and it really made people want to join.
Yeah, of course.
You have a peak in membership, but it goes back down right away.
So people just join Freemasonry because they want to, in the imaginary thought, they want to join the Templar Knights and all this myth. And
yes, they want to discover the symbols, and they want to discover the lost symbols. Actually, I think that's the full title of the book, is The Lost Symbols of...
Yes.
And when they joined, they didn't see that. They saw business meetings.
I see.
You know, and they didn't see what they thought they would see. And so you see a rise and a drop.
So they left. Much.
Exactly. And it just continues declining the same way.
Okay.
And then you have the same phenomenon when the Dan Brown book comes out, the Da Vinci Code. Same thing.
Talked about Freemasonry, right?
Exactly.
Masonic symbols and all that. Yeah. And he talked in a very symbolic and, might I say, esoteric way.
Yeah.
He talked about that in his book.
Exactly. And actually, he really helped in bringing back the practice of having the chamber of reflection, because in his book he talks about it.
Oh, he mentioned it.
And so a lot of new candidates were wondering, where is the chamber? I read about this.
And it's funny because, not funny, but this made the success of Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code and all that. It's the esoteric part.
Yeah, the mystery.
The mystery, the myth, the esoteric part, the symbols and all that.
The journey, the growth.
Yeah, this is what people want when they want to join Freemasonry. It seems like it.
It seems like it, exactly. Yeah. And so that happened, and in the early 2000, we have a phenomenon of people joining Masonry.
Okay.
The same way as before when we have the little peak.
Yeah.
But this time, and that's after the movies come out. But this time, it doesn't do this. It falls down a little bit, but then it stays a little. And you can see that it's because that new generation, they had access to the internet.
True.
And so instead of being told, oh, that's not what they do, and they left, they were questioning it. And they started looking it up, and they realized, well, it used to be like that.
Because they have access to information saying that,
Exactly. They realized
historical data.
So now they start questioning their lodges, and they start saying, hey, I want to go back to this. I want this. They start questioning this. They start asking for this.
Interesting.
And so that's when you have a movement that started, and actually famous Mason in this movement is Andrew Hammer.
So what is this movement?
So this movement is called Observant Freemasonry.
Okay.
And so, as I was talking earlier, it's about observing the craft. It's about trying to bring back that beauty within Freemasonry, resurface it, taking time, dressing for lodge, bringing the white gloves back in the lodge, things like that. There are many small little things.
As if you were back then in American Freemasonry, right?
Exactly. Also bringing the practice of having the chamber of reflection back, things like that.
I see.
This movement has been growing, and it's interesting. It's not exploding in number, but it's growing. When it started in the early 2000s, there were about 15 observant lodges that declared themselves observant.
Yes.
Today, there's about 62.
Okay. Yeah. So it's growing at a pretty nice pace. Yeah.
It's a slow pace over 20 years, but it's growing, and it's growing in a declining climate.
True. Because you still have a declining climate in the general overall American Freemasonry.
So, and also, as I was saying earlier, it's completely impossible to really know what is an observant lodge, because, you can declare yourself an officially observant lodge and ask for the Masonic Restoration Foundation, it's a foundation that was created to help observant lodges.
Okay.
You can ask them to officially recognize you, and they'll add you on that list on their website.
I see.
So that's how I know about the 60-something lodges. But really, how do you know if a lodge
is well practiced?
But also, how do you know if there are there's a lot of lodges out there that are bringing back, for example, just the chamber, or they are bringing back the gloves. They don't call themselves observant; they just want more.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
So I think it's a movement that's really way more vast than we think.
It goes beyond this official label observant lodge.
Exactly. And I see it everywhere. In Nevada, at least, it's all over the place. All the lodges are trying to improve.
Do you think it's a response to this demand of the public and even the brothers of, more symbols, more esoteric studies, more of that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because, so when we started our observant lodge here, so we have the first ever observant lodge in Nevada. And we already have another one that's starting to be created by other brothers that want to emulate what we did.
Okay.
When we started our observant lodge, we decided to raise the dues, because we wanted to be able to pay for ourselves, not as an elitist thing, but just because we needed to be able to pay for ourselves, for our building and all that.
Yeah, because you need financial resources to do things, right?
And so we raised them from, most lodges around will be $150 a year.
In the United States?
Yeah, at least in my state, in Nevada. We raised it to $100 a month.
Okay, so it's
a big,
it's 10x, pretty much.
So $1,200 a year. But for that, we get quality meetings. We can pay for our bills. We don't have to do fundraisers or anything like that.
Okay.
And everybody's happy with that. And then for the entry fee, the initiation fee.
Yes.
Same thing. Most of the time, it's about $300, around that.
Okay.
We raised it to $2,500.
Okay, so pretty much 10x then again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was based on something that we observed. In Nevada, if you go back into our history, it used to be about the same price. It used to be a month of wages to join Freemasonry.
I see.
So this is actually going back to Nevada traditions.
So what was the response? I mean, did you guys just didn't have any demand, or?
And that's the interesting fact.
What happened?
When we proposed this to the Grand Lodge that we want to start this lodge, they told us no one is going to pay this price to get into Freemasonry.
Yeah.
And we asked for permission to try, and they said, okay, try it. And now we're the fastest growing lodge. We have a list of 30 people trying to get in. Waiting in line, trying to get into the lodge. Serious people, vetted people that have been coming for a year already to be accepted among us. They are ready to pay their $2,500. And that money is not just gone in the ether. That money is all spent on the candidate. So he gets a handmade tuxedo out of this, and
nice.
other things that are given to him throughout
Just
the
back then, just like they have back then, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, so this has been working wonderfully. Like I was saying, to a point where we have another lodge now that's being started. And when we were started, we were the first new lodge for the past 20 years to be started. And now, a couple of years later, we have another lodge being started. So it's beautiful to see.
It is beautiful. So can you explain maybe, the differences in practice that you guys have than the regular lodges don't have, or they do differently? Like, what are those differences?
First of all, I wouldn't call them regular because we're regular too.
Yeah,
that's important. But
the
more
normal, the norm.
I got you. So what we do is, first of all, we take a lot longer for the journey.
Okay.
We have books that we give at every single level. So we call them forbidden books. We give them to the Enter Apprentice, Fellow Craft, Master Mason, and they go in depth into what the degree represents, what it means, what you should do internally, externally, how you should evolve in Masonry.
Wow.
And so it can give you a complete journey from Enter Apprentice to Master Mason. We don't have a minimum amount of times in between degrees. I know some Grand Lodges have minimum amount of times in Europe, for example. We don't have that, but on average, it takes about a year to go through from a degree to another one.
So you stay 1 year as an apprentice, and then you become a fellow craft and for 1 year.
Yes.
And then after 2 years of practice, you can ask to be a Master Mason, right?
Exactly.
Okay, got you.
And we have beautiful traditions. For example, we decided to also raise the bar on being found proficient.
Okay.
In our state, to be found proficient, you need to learn what they call the catechism, which is question answers.
Yes.
We have that, but we also added learning a part of the ritual that every single Enter Apprentice has to learn.
Okay.
So now our Enter Apprentice can do the full ritual just by themselves.
Okay.
The Enter Apprentice ritual can be done by the Enter Apprentice.
I see.
Really beautiful.
I see.
We also have the tracing board of the lodge that they have to memorize and trace back and explain to the rest of the lodge.
So they do trace the tracing board.
They trace it.
Used to be done, right?
Exactly. Just like Washington did it in his lodge, how they would trace it on the board. We do the same thing.
Beautiful.
It's really beautiful. And it's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And they explain all that. And to see them go through this experience and loving it, growing through it. It's amazing. It really is. It brings me joy to see that it's working and that it's not just wasted time on my part, because it takes a lot of time.
So what was how do the brothers in your lodge perceive these practices? Do they like it? How they...
In Robert Burns Lodge, they love it.
Yeah, so your lodge is Robert Burns, right?
Yes, Robert Burns Lodge number 59.
Okay, 59.
In Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, so Grand Lodge of Nevada.
Yeah.
What was the response of them? Like, do they actually do the work?
They love it. It's amazing to see how involved they are, and they're all working for it. They're all exchanging their ideas. They have to write papers as well.
Yes.
And they all talk to each other about what they're going to write, how they're going to write about, and in Lodge, we debate those papers, which is really amazing.
Nice.
Because after Lodge, when we have our agape, when we eat together, we discuss it further in a more relaxed setting.
For sure,
you know? And you can see the evolution. I'll give you an example. A concrete example on what this does.
Yes.
We had a brother, and he used to think that, an entered apprentice, and he used to think that he wouldn't give money to homeless because he would think that they would just waste it on drugs or things like that.
Okay.
He became a Mason and he learned the lessons, and that completely switched his mindset.
Really?
And now he decided that it doesn't matter what they do. What matters is that he gives.
What he does.
Exactly. And so now he always has, and that's his thing, he always has $2 bills on him. And every time he sees someone in need, he gives them one of his $2 bills.
I see.
That's his thing. And, to see that type of thing happen within a lodge is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Because, this is, in my perspective, my personal opinion, this is the major role of Freemasonry. Make, good men better. Better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Totally.
Exactly.
Wow. So
also, sorry to cut you, but we have a cap in membership, and that's a massive thing too.
So what is the cap?
So the cap is 42 members.
Cannot go beyond that.
Exactly. And that's because we want to emulate those early American lodges that had about 35 members. We went a little above. But also, when you look at scientific studies that have been done on the matter, they figured out that if you go under 20, you have a risk of being too centered on yourself. Too small and too centered on yourself.
Oh, okay, I see.
But if you go over 50, there's a phenomenon in any human groups that happens where you split into subgroups.
Interesting.
When you start splitting in subgroups within the lodge, it's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
And so the sweet spot is around 40 members.
All right.
So we selected 42 members.
All right.
Why 42? Because it's the answer of life and everything. I don't know if you know that movie.
Yes. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's just a joke.
There's a symbol behind it. There's symbols everywhere in Freemasonry, guys. Symbols everywhere.
Yes.
Good. So nice. You guys, you did all these amazing things in your lodge and with the observant movement, and all those stuff. And my question I wanted to ask you is, so what is your vision, for the future of this movement, this observant movement? What is the future of it? And what would be the future of this movement in particular, and also the future of American Freemasonry, in the long term? How would you see the things evolving?
Yeah. So, what I really like about this movement is it's not a competing movement. It's not something that's trying to replace anything. We have a masonry that's being practiced by, what we call the old guard, these other lodges, and it's their style, and it's a beautiful style, And so we're not trying to replace them or,
True.
What we want is to be able to have two different style,
Okay.
so you can offer different aspects of the same thing in the end.
True.
So that people can really enjoy whatever works for them. You know what I mean?
I see.
Yeah.
So, for example, those two movements will be like the actual practice of American Freemasonry as it is today. And also you guys want to bring, some of this movement of observant lodges. We'll try to resurrect the old traditions of American Freemasonry.
You could call it, the 1950 style Freemasonry and then the 1800 style Freemasonry.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Having both in the same.
And they don't really compete to one another, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They draw on different people. You know what I mean? One draws on people that are looking for symbolism and for a journey and, for slow progression.
Okay.
And one draws on people that are looking more for social gatherings and a strong brotherly love, things like that, which is also great in charity.
Yes.
So they both complete each other.
True. Yeah. And they all, this is kind of the diversity of Freemasonry. And, it's in France, you can actually observe those two movements, evolving. We have like the Freemasonry, that is called social Freemasonry, So it's really about the community and the discussion about society and all that. And you also have the traditional Freemasonry, symbolism and esoteric, path that you want to undertake and all that. So, and you have those two movements that are evolving, in parallel, and they don't compete to one another. Yeah. So
exactly.
Yeah, this is kind of the equilibrium you can observe in Europe, and maybe that will be the same equilibrium in America.
Oh eventually. Yeah, and I believe that it's needed strongly. Yeah. When you see that it's been evolving, the lodges that the observant movement has been growing.
True.
In a declining environment. Yeah. So you can see that there is a need for it.
Yes.
Probably a small need, maybe not, most Masons want to be observant, but there is a need for it.
True, because you have a demand from the public and also from some of the brothers, right?
Exactly. And to be frank with you, when we started our Observant Lodge, we expected maybe 1 to 2 candidates per year. That's actually why we set up that system like that. We did not expect to get, on average, we get maybe 10, 15 candidates per month, people reaching out. We did not expect that. The system that we built was not meant to handle all that.
Yeah.
So there really is a need for it.
I see.
Yeah.
So you're part of this movement. Why don't we just, step back for a final question that I have for you. So, what is for you personally as a brother? What is the meaning of Freemasonry? What is the goal? What is the meaning for the individual, for the Mason, for the society? What is your perspective on this?
The meaning of Freemasonry. That's a profound question.
That's a profound question, especially for the end. But would you have like maybe some of the some of the lights that you want to share?
So the way I see it is it's multifaceted. So there's no single answer to that question. There are multiple meanings in Freemasonry. One of them is that it's a beautiful system of morality to become a better person.
True.
It's an ancient way to grow. Some call it a mystery school. It's a whole journey. That's one part of it. And then there's also an aspect of a social gathering of good men, men of value that you will meet, that you will discover, that you will grow with, that you would have never met outside.
True.
And especially in our day and age, we're living in bubbles. We live in the house, it's our bubble. Then we take the bubble, the car, and we go to another bubble, the work, and we are separated from other individuals more and more and more.
True. People live in isolation.
Exactly. And there's a concept of first place, second place, and third place that's needed for happiness. And the first place is your family. And that's shrinking very fast, very rapidly. People
are moving.
Exactly. And also they don't have large families anymore. You go back in the 1900s, you had, 7 sisters, 5 brothers,
a lot of kids,
lots of cousins. But now you're lucky if you have 1 sibling. So there's that. This is shrinking. And then the second one is the job environment. And we're also losing that, especially since COVID. People work from home now.
True.
So they don't have interactions at work anymore. And then there's the third place. And the third place was anything else. And it used to be church gatherings. It used to be a lot of things like that.
Communities.
People used to be involved in their villages and they used to know everyone. But it's not like that anymore. And that is almost completely gone.
Yeah, most of people don't live in villages anymore anyway.
When you look at the numbers are alarming. I mean, you look at loneliness, and that has went through the roof.
Depression
that
comes out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I was reading a study. People with no friends, 0 friends.
True.
They were less than 5% in the 90s, and now they are reaching 17% of the population. People with 0 friends. How sad is that?
It's very sad.
And so Masonry is bringing that aspect of not you're not just in between. If you're a lawyer, you're not just with lawyers.
True.
You're with different people. You're discovering friends that you don't know yet. That's one big aspect of it, in my opinion.
Okay.
And also, in our society, again, there is a movement. There's a move from organized religion to spirituality, and people are not. They're moving away from dogma, and they want to seek something spiritual, but without the dogma behind it.
Okay.
And Freemasonry is perfect for this.
So, brother, thank you very much for all your answers. That was amazing. We learned so much about history of American Freemasonry, your amazing project with the Observant Lodge and everything. That was amazing, and your take on American Freemasonry and your vision for the future. For the public and the brothers who are actually watching you right now, so how can they reach out to you?
Oh yeah, all they got to do is go on our website, robertburns59.org.
Okay.
And whether it's a brother that wants to visit or a candidate that wants to come, they can reach out on the form, and then we'll take them from there.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put all the links and the website on the video itself, and maybe on the description and all that. So you guys have, you will have all the information to reach out to you guys, to Robert Burns. You're in Las Vegas again?
Yes, we're in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Okay, and
and that's important. If you want to join our lodge, you need to be in Las Vegas.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, and what if I'm a Freemason or I'm a potential candidate and I would like to join an Observant Lodge? Is there a website?
Yes.
So I can They say, okay, there's an Observant Lodge next to me. Where can I see that?
Yeah, there's the Masonic Restoration Foundation.
Okay.
And they have a map of the U.S. with all of the Observant Lodges.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, brothers. Thanks again. And for everything you do for Freemasonry.
Thank you for inviting me. It's really an honor. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's a great program. I love your content in French. I've watched all of your videos. They are really amazing.
Thank you, man.
Highly recommend if you speak French or activate the subtitles to watch the videos in French. And now you're starting in English.
Exactly. I'm starting this account in English. I'm very excited, to have a broader audience, in the Anglophone community. So yeah, thanks again, brother. Thank you for your time, and I'm sure we'll speak soon.
I'm sure.